It's 9:16 in the morning time, and I want to welcome you to the continuation of the WIDU Morning Show. Pastor Carl Brinkley here with you this morning, along with a great brother and friend to this community, and myself, the CEO of the We Do Network, Brother Wes Cookman. Brother Wes, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Brinkley. Hope you're faring well in this weather. We look like we're going to go into the freezer here for a little bit.
Yes, sir. It's coming. I've been listening to the weather reports. Really grateful for the partnership with PwC. Lamont has already stopped by this morning and checked in on us and going to get us some fresh information this afternoon. So everybody stay tuned to your radio station for information and inspiration, WIDU, 1600 AM, 99.7 FM. And we'll give you the latest updates as soon as we get them. And we just bless the name of the Lord. Bro West, this has been for me, an exciting season with all of the candidate conversations, the recording and producing of those things. It's I've been saying it regularly. It was one thing to listen and hear the conversations, but to actually be a part of producing and meeting the candidates, it really blessed me. Really blessed me. I'm enjoying my time with We Do and the radio ministry.
We are so thrilled to have you here more often. You've been with us as our friend and brother, and the awesome, wonderful church that you pastored for 40 years. We love and appreciate Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, such a lighthouse of love, and that ministry partnership over the years just means so much to us, and I know this community. But in this retirement season, having you here more with us at the station has just been a true blessing. Jay Reinstein, yesterday, when I took him home, we had a conversation, and he's just been so blessed by getting to know you. And he was just talking about how much he appreciates you, how much he loves you, and how special you are. And I just couldn't help but think the impact, and that's really what you've taught all of us over the years, and you've had just a wonderful impact on Jay.
Oh boy, it was over the years. It was really a blessing to hear his voice.
Yeah.
He does a marvelous job with those interviews, and it's amazing how he can just go with them. That's a gift. But then to meet the man. And then to share with him, to watch him work, and it's really been awesome for me. And then he has a great sense of humor. He's a fun and funny guy, and we just thank God for Jay Reinstein.
What we can do here is talk about the weather for a moment, because I'm sure that's at the front of most everyone's mind right now. But also do want to take just a moment to talk about our candidate conversations and, what has been accomplished so far and how that's working. Just, really want to make sure everybody knows there is a March 3rd primary election in the state of North Carolina. Everywhere in the state of North Carolina has the opportunity to go to the ballot box, and we certainly want the We Do family to know, and we can discuss some of the dynamics of that. It's important to understand that the final decisions are made in November. Yes, that's the general election. In some cases, there is no opposition. A couple of races I'm thinking about, only Democrats filed, such as, let's say, for the for certain seats, if there's no Republican opposition, whoever wins in the March primary effectively wins that seat.
Wow.
So, and I'm trying to be detailed in that, because when I say the final decision, technically the final decision is not made until November 3rd, the general election. But if you have no opposition in November 3rd, common sense is if you win the March 3rd primary, you have won that particular seat. So, and there's a number of other reasons. We advocate that every election is important, and we also want to do our part to make sure that everyone that listens to any of our radio stations that we've shared accurate, good information. So we'll talk about that in a moment. There is from the National Weather Service a winter weather threat advisory. I'll read it just as they are writing it. Let's see, today is the 23rd, so this just came out 5 minutes ago. Adverse winter weather is occurring or expected. Potential threats include ice and low visibility. Now that's covering a wide area. The radar map that they have now actually does have Fayetteville in the affected area. So we are, I guess you would describe it, on the eastern border of the weather pattern. So we've been down these roads many times before, depending on shifts that could be just really in the big picture minimal, 30 miles one way or the other could have impact. So we look forward, our friends at PwC, as you know, this is their wheelhouse of expertise, and they are going to be having a key meeting this afternoon, and afterwards they will be sharing with us their latest information. But, you know, we've been through a number of weather events together, the We Do family. You were saying yesterday, and if it seems like the wisdom is preparation, just be prepared. And many of us are very hopeful that it would be mild, you know, in our area. And if you look at this closely, that's possible. But it's also possible that it wouldn't be so mild. It's an accumulation of ice, and they've always taught us from PwC, I think they've said a quarter of an inch of ice is enough to bring down power, you know, bring down limbs that can impact. So we're right at that zone where, you know, we know, Sandy was saying the one thing we know pretty much for sure is going to get cold.
Yes.
You know, and it's wintertime, so but we're going to go into, and we'll read it here in a moment, the predicted lows at nighttime. I was looking at it last night. We go for a number of days not getting above freezing at nighttime. None of the nighttime temperatures. Some of the daytimes get above freezing. But anyway, bottom line, we know it's going to be cold. What we don't know is how much precipitation and what type of precipitation, and that will make a huge difference versus snow, sleet, freezing rain. Those have an impact. And ice storms, for those of us old enough to remember and have lived through some of those, everything's romantic until the power goes out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That kind of darkness is not fun, for sure, for sure. And we got to keep encouraging. We are encouraging everybody to continue to listen. And you said it earlier. Preparation is key. Just go get ready for it. And if it passes us by, thank you, Jesus. But if not, let's be prepared. You know, fill up the gas tanks in your cars. Go by and pick up those items. My list yesterday was 3 items, but now it's about 5. And so later on, I'll swing by and get those things, and so that we'll be ready. Flashlights, fresh batteries, just in case. I was telling Janet that years ago when Ashley and the babies came back from Georgia, and we were expecting a storm, I had a flashlight for every child, every person in the house, batteries and all of that.
Oh, good.
And so I'm digging them up and getting batteries and getting ready. So
that's wise. I've got flashlights. I need to think, do I have one for each of us? That's a good point. We're thinking about if the power's out, everybody's going to need to be able to be safe, have a flashlight.
Get to the bathroom safely, move around,
yes,
all of that. And so a flashlight per person is a good thing.
Seems like the Weather Channel? I just happened to catch a piece of this last night. He was giving a tutorial on proper use of a generator for those that have some of the small portable generators. And I think most of us are aware, but please, if there's anybody in our listening family, all of the experts say never put a generator in the house, and they say have a minimum of 10 feet from the house. Don't put it in the garage. Those fumes, it seems like every storm season, we will read about a tragic occurrence having to do with generators. So that's a wonderful thing to have. But I was paying close attention, thinking I knew proper. One thing I picked up, and I think we knew this, but the exhaust that comes out of the generator, they said have it pointed away from the house, not towards the house.
That's right.
It's those exhaust fumes on the generators. So that was, just one of those tips. You guys were talking yesterday about if you have plumbing pipes that freeze at times, leaving just a little small drip.
Little small drip so that the water is flowing and will continue to flow, not freeze the pipes with the water moving. And so that is important to do. It's important to do that for sure.
So also you gave a tip yesterday. What was that about the refrigerator and freezers if power does go out?
Yes, and leave the freezers and the refrigerators closed. And Troy was joking about that this morning, about some of us who have a habit, even when we're not hungry, we walk in the kitchen, just open the refrigerator and look. 15 minutes, we're back, looking again. Nothing has changed or moved. Everything is still in the same place, but it's a habit. But leave that refrigerator and freezer closed if the power's out, so that your food will stay cool and cold, and so that's really important.
So, some of these things I'm thinking our listening family could help us, especially those who have been through these weather events. First of all, we hope sincerely that power in our area does not go out. We
That's
have
right.
Several different major suppliers of power. Of course, PwC, our hometown utility here in Fayetteville.
Yes.
But that is still one of those basic essentials in America that you don't choose who your power company is. It's determined, geographically where you are. That's so there are certainly folks in our listening family who probably have South River, EMC. Others have Duke Energy. I'm trying to think. There's a number of powers.
I have South River.
You have South River?
For electricity, PwC for water and sewage.
Yes. So depending on who your power supplier, is, they've come so far that most of the energy companies have apps where you can check in and outages and that sort of thing. But some of our professionals have talked before. I was wondering yesterday as I was driving, I was seeing the above ground power poles and wondering if 100 years from now, now we have, say, a new neighborhood, you don't see the power poles because electricity is underground.
Yes.
So, but if you live in a neighborhood that has underground power, the power to get to your neighborhood, probably along that chain, are some above ground. So, and a lot of these we've just learned over the years, hearing the experts talk that if you have ice accumulation on power lines, or probably as big or bigger of a threat would be trees, large trees in a circumstance like this. If they get enough ice on them, if they come down and fall on the power line, there are different scenarios where power could be lost, and that seems to be. Now, there's another aspect of this. Even if power stays on, we want to be wise when the temperatures get this low, and there has been precipitation. If there is any moisture on the ground, and even if it froze and then thaws out in the day and then freezes, we've heard a lot of people, and Sandy talks a lot about, and drivers, we have to just be very aware of what they call black ice,
yes,
meaning
sir.
Ice that's on the highway that is there, but we can't see with the naked eye easily.
Yeah, I think it's really best that if you don't have to go any place, just stay home if the weather is severe. Just stay in and enjoy the family and time together, and unless you really have to go somewhere, especially at night with that black ice. And I live on a hill, and so I have the driveway salt that I'm gonna put down before it comes, before the ice comes, and that always helps in getting out when it's time to get out. And
So who was it that was saying to us this week they were concerned that maybe in our area it may to our eyes not look that bad, but this aspect of it, if there's moisture, which there's already been a little bit of rain last night, when there's moisture, this is just basic science. Well, let me read these low temperatures. What does your device say? Today is Friday. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is our current temperature? You see that? We'll just set a baseline here where we are right now. Because yesterday we got up here at the station, we got to 65 degrees. So some would say the calm before the storm.
yes, sir. Right now it's in Fayetteville 45 degrees. 45 degrees. The high today is going to be 49 and low 43 today.
So it's not going to feel like a Arctic blast today.
No, not today, but tomorrow.
Here we go.
Yeah, tomorrow is a different story.
So the low for today, Weather Channel is saying 32 degrees. Low for tomorrow, Saturday, 24 degrees. Low for Sunday, 32 degrees. And then we hit Monday, the projected low, 17 degrees. The low for Tuesday, 26 degrees. Wednesday, 24 degrees. Thursday, 22 degrees. Friday, 21. A week from today, the low. Now I'm talking about the lows.
Yes.
And those overnight lows, 21 degrees a week from today, next Friday. Then a week from tomorrow, 23 degrees. Then a week from Sunday, which would be February the 1st, 24 degrees. February the 2nd, 24 degrees. The 3rd, on that Tuesday, 26 degrees. And technically, we all remember from learning in science, freezing is 32 degrees. So on Wednesday the 4th and Thursday the 5th, the long range projection is 31 degrees of a low. So technically, if this weather pattern holds in this Arctic blast they're talking about, we're talking about getting down to freezing with nighttime low tomorrow of 24 and not getting above freezing at night for, what is that? Is that 10 days? Let's see, Saturday through Saturday would be 8 days. And then through the following Wednesday, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we could, just continue to go forward. I think we get the point. And Sandy had pointed that out to me early in it. She had looked at it, that we're about to go into a stretch where our nighttime lows will not be above freezing. So it's going to be cold.
Going to be cold, and we need to be prepared for whatever could happen, for the possibilities of power being out, and and everything that comes along with that. And so let's get ready. Let's get ready. Check on the elderly in your church family, in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Check on family members. Call and make sure everybody's well.
Well, we're going to watch closely what the weather occurrence is. Our friends from PwC will be checking in with us later. Having gone through these, my sense has been, and these are experts that pay close attention, when there are things that, mankind has come a long way and our science has come a long way, but still we understand that only God controls the weather. And so it becomes, we're in kind of an unusual, some call it a fall line, that, and many will refer to the Interstate 95, just geographical. And sometimes it seems like weather, we laughed about this one time, and I think some other folks have seen this. Actually, at our house, have seen it snow in the backyard and not in the front yard, or
True.
rain in the front yard and not in the backyard.
Yes, sir.
And we're kind of in an unusual area, kind of almost like a dividing line around here. So I appreciate their attentiveness. Obviously, you don't want to alarm people and it not be what you're saying. On the other side, you don't want to not warn folks and something, serious. So what we do know is that it's going to be very cold, and we know there's going to be some precipitation.
Yes.
It's been shifting. I noticed first thing this morning, the projection, first time I'd seen it for us was Sunday night at Saturday night, Sunday morning, midnight, those overnight hours. It was saying on our weather forecasting device was light snow, and I just don't remember seeing that. I think there is just that concern, but we have learned what type of precipitation we get will have an impact on what we're dealing with. We know it's going to be really cold, but we can hope all we want and we can wish all we want. At the end of the day, that doesn't control it. Only God controls the weather, but we can be prepared.
Yes, sir. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
There you go. There you go, Doc. By the way, I gave those nighttime lows to encourage everybody. Now, the daytime picture looks, it's not quite as cold. It's cold, but like you said, today's high is projected at 50 degrees, somewhere in there. Tomorrow, the high 36 degrees. Sunday, the high 34 degrees. Monday, even though we have that low of 17 degrees is projected right now, the high on Monday is 41 degrees is the projection. Same for Tuesday, 41. Wednesday, 44. Thursday, 40 degrees. Friday, a week from today, the daytime high is projected to be 38. The high on that Saturday, a week from tomorrow, the 31st, last day of January, 37 degrees. Then the first day of February, the high projected to be 40. Monday the 2nd, 46, 45. Wednesday the 4th, 49 degrees in the daytime. Thursday the 5th, 50. We are fortunate when you see, if you look at the national landscape and some of what others are dealing with in our particular situation, we're going to have some cold weather. We're going to have a consecutive number of nights below freezing, but our daytime highs are going to be above freezing.
Yes.
And that will be encouraging as well. So we just want to do a good job of sharing accurate information. One of the things that happens, we talked about this yesterday, our major media, which would a lot of folks would say, television in America, we do not have a television station in Fayetteville. And most folks are viewing more than likely something out of the Raleigh-Durham Triangle area, one of those television stations. They're, depending on where you're listening to us, you may be watching a station out of Wilmington, or some even in the Wedo family to Florence. But those weather reports from north of us, while they will many times try to say, and in Fayetteville and this area, these are the times that it really jumps out at us that there can be a wide variance from what's happening 40, 50 miles to the north of us versus here. So it's important to kind of keep that in mind. We are in a weather zone, and we are a media affiliate of the North Carolina News Network. And so when you hear our weather forecast, it's coming through our friends. It is targeted to zones, but once again, in times like this, the northern part of a zone and the southern part of a zone, there can be great variance. So we'll do the best we can to keep up with what's really impacting first us here in Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and then of course across our WeDo network. We've got Robeson County, we've got Scotland County, we've got Hoke County. But we'll walk through this together. I think folks are hesitant to say, because they do not want to hit a alarm bell, and then folks say, oh, that was nothing, and then they don't want to act like it's going to be nothing, and there be serious consequences. People can slip and fall, automobile accidents, there's other things that can happen in addition to the fundamental infrastructure of electricity is so vital. And then for some, electricity, that can be life-threatening if you have medical devices, so all of this information, we're very respectful, and our prayers are with those Cumberland County Emergency Management, City of Fayetteville Emergency Management, PWC, those that are looking out for our specific local area, trying their very best to get it exactly right. And it reminds me, on the hurricanes, you remember many times the several days out, they would be trying to target the path, and over the course of time, that path could move. Mm-hmm. Seems like one of the more recent in the last several years. Within the last 10 years, there was a hurricane that Fayetteville, at one moment, they were reporting was right at, the eye of the storm was going to come over, and it ended up shifting some miles, and that little bit of a shift can make all the difference in the world which way it goes. And it feels like that's might be a little bit of what's happening right now. There's a little bit of shifting as you're watching these weather reports, and they're varying just a little bit. But it's not like it's going to be Miami 70 degrees. It's not going to vary that much.
No, sir.
It's going to be cold. But we have not seen with certainty that we want to start reporting exactly, because in our world, church and Sunday is very important. I'm sure many churches are looking out for the safety of their parishioners. We're very respectful that weather at this time is something that impacts so many in so many ways, and you're trying to just really get your arms around what's going to happen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, I just thank God for the partnership of PwC and all of those who work in times of emergency with the city, and all who share information, who will be on with pertinent, fresh information that we might be aware of what's coming. But the key, as we've been saying over and over again, is just everybody get ready, be prepared, do what you need to do now, just in case.
I'm sure you have. Do you have memories of ice storms in the past?
I do.
It was different than snow, right?
Yeah. Definitely. This ice is worse than snow. I mean, we'll be glad to have the snow versus the ice.
Yeah, get out and play in the snow sometimes with the kids, but ice, man, you're almost nervous unless you just have to walk on the steps at the house, or the sidewalk.
Oh man, I've done that. Went on the top step and slide down. Young man and recovered quickly. But that has happened, and so we would rather have the snow. But if the ice comes again, let's be ready. Let's be prepared. I'm also gonna put the driveway salt on my porch and my steps also. So yes, I'm sure that item at Lowe's is probably selling out. But it's important. It's important to be prepared.
Yes, absolutely. Let's take a break, and we'll come back and talk about our election coverage, candidate conversations, Election Central. Troy has a roundtable next Thursday, which will be the 29th. Let's see, today's Friday the 23rd, next Thursday. So a lot of friends enjoy hearing the different minds come in, and they'll have the discussions. And of course, Jay continues to interview. My count was 23. I think I've got that right. We're right at 23 candidates have talked with us. We've aired several of those Wednesday mornings, and Thursday mornings will be the days that we'll be airing candidate conversations, Election Central. Early voting starts, if you start yesterday, counting 3 weeks from yesterday. We're right on the doorstep of another election. It is here on our doorstep.
Major ice storm is churning toward North Carolina this morning. Cold air is firmly locked in place. It'll get colder tomorrow. That's when the precipitation comes in, starting in the mountains and moving east. Meanwhile, crews are applying salt to roads across North Carolina counties to prevent ice buildup this weekend as preparation ramp up ahead of that storm. And highway patrol troopers are on the highway along with other law enforcement to help keep people safe. North Carolina braces for a potentially high-impact storm. Power providers say the biggest threat may not be how much snow falls, but, of course, the ice. That winter storm is bearing down on some 40 states, including North Carolina. From now until Sunday, officials warn people to stay off the roads Airlines are bracing for cancellations. Mike Traley, NCI News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Sex Offender Registration Unit responded to a report on January 21st involving an individual allegedly exposing himself in the Judge E. Morris Braswell Cumberland County Courthouse. Detectives identified the offender as 27-year-old Jason Hammonds. Hammonds is a registered sex offender on the North Carolina Sex Offender and Public Protection Registry. He was apprehended and charged with indecent exposure by the Sheriff's Office SORU detectives on January 21st. Law enforcement agencies are joining efforts to address the growing concern of careless and reckless driving along the I-295 corridor. That is an issue that continues to put drivers' lives at risk. On Thursday, January 25th, 5 until 11:30 p.m., members of multiple law enforcement agencies teamed up to save lives. As a result of the initiative, 131 citations were issued that included 120 speeding violations, careless and reckless, and no operator's license. From WIDU.
Good Friday morning. We start your day with cloudy skies and temperatures colder in the upper 30s with a brief shower possible. Some more brief showers are possible mainly before lunchtime today. We'll keep increased cloud cover. Highs will only reach the mid-40s to around 50 degrees this afternoon. Even colder overnight into Saturday morning with temperatures dropping to the upper 20s. Our chances for freezing rain and sleet start later in the day on Saturday. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the Weather Center.
And we're live here outside the Perez family home, just waiting for the... And there they go, almost on time this morning. Mom is coming out the front door strong with a double-arm kid carry. Looks like Dad has the bags. Daughter is bringing up the rear. Oh, but the diaper bag wasn't closed. Diapers and toys are everywhere. Ooh, but Mom has just nailed the perfect car seat buckle for the toddler. And now the eldest daughter, who looks to be about 9 or 10, has secured herself in the booster seat. Dad zips the bag closed, and they're off. But looks like Mom doesn't realize her coffee cup is still on the roof of the car. And there it goes. Oh, that's a shame. That mug was a fam favorite.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Just nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are buckled correctly in the right seat for their age and size. Learn more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Now, all across North Carolina, it's Carolina Newsmakers. Each week, leaders from politics, education, business, and the arts join Don Curtis to share insights and ideas shaping our state. Hear interviews that go beyond the headlines with guests who know North Carolina best. Listen on the radio stations throughout North Carolina and on demand at carolinanewsmakers.com.
Get in shape, gain knowledge, eat better, clean out the garage. Well, all good resolutions, very ambitious and somewhat attainable. At PwC, we have a pretty simple approach to this year's resolutions. Keep doing what we do with excellence. Our community and our customers are the most important thing to us. Providing award-winning service is our goal every year. It's also nice to reflect, be recognized for our efforts, and celebrate recent achievements, like the Public Power Award of Excellence, Gold Award for Exceptional Utility Performance by the Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies, Partnership for Safe Water 25-Year Directors Award, just to name a few. Thank you for trusting your public power utility. We're committed to innovation, reliability, and you. Here's to another year of Fayetteville PwC moving our community forward. Cheers!
This is Deb Cunningham, Cunningham & Sons Mortuary. If you're listening to this, you're listening to Wake Up, Wake Up.
Friday morning, January the 23rd. Hope you're doing well this morning. We got Heartbeat coming up in a few minutes, Dr. Brinkley. We've got MP3 coming up at 11 o'clock. And we'll be checking in with our friends. We've already been in contact with them. In fact, We were communicating with Lamont yesterday at PwC. Obviously, our hometown utility here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, is very concerned about everyone in these weather events. We have found, just have very accurate information and can be very helpful. Our understanding, they have a major meeting, and they are going to share with us what they know. That pinpoint accuracy as best they can, what they think to the best of their ability is going to happen weather-wise here in our community. Many roads, have you noticed the number of roads around here have been brimed? The treatment they do for the roads to help any kind of ice, snow melt off. So preparations have been underway, and we appreciate all of those who are doing that. The Governor of North Carolina, Governor Josh Stein, has declared a state of emergency for the entire state. This is just one of those times where it's very important to focus on our local areas, because that can vary widely. And, while our prayers are with those in other parts of the state that are seemingly, more certain to get, more accumulation of precipitation. I was talking with our engineer yesterday, Scott, and he and his family live right across the North Carolina-Virginia line up around the Winston-Salem, up in that neck of the woods. And he said that when the forecast first came out earlier in the week, they were predicting 24 inches, and it's kind of mountainous up where he lives. But he said it's been 5 years since they'd had a really good, big snow there. He was relieved yesterday. They had backed that down yesterday to 5 inches. So they're going to get some snow, but there's, obviously a big difference between 24 inches and 5 inches.
Yes, sir.
So, and he had been watching our weather forecast, wanting to make sure that he helped us as best he could stay on the air, through the weather. We, some of our plants are our tower sites have generators. Some do not. It's a mixed bag. But as we were going through today's technology, we got an email last night from one of the internet service providers who was saying they were already projecting, that there was going to be some downtime, due to the weather. So we came to the conclusion we'll do all we can. But it's in today's technology environment, electricity is so key. So a lot of anybody in the media business ability is going to have to do with their with things beyond any of our control. But we feel confident that we'll be able to be on the air at all of our radio stations. But we are respectful that a storm this big, I don't remember. Do you ever remember? And I'm sure it's happened, and I must have just missed it. The naming of a winter storm. We're used to the hurricanes being named, or those type storms. This particular winter storm has a name.
Wow, I didn't see that, and don't remember that happening before.
Right. So when we had some friends contact us earlier in the week, and they were concerned, and we understand why anyone would be concerned, especially watching any kind of news or national news. And so I wanted to really choose my words carefully. We in no way try to represent that we are meteorologists. We are not. We are affiliated with a really good news network, North Carolina News Network. And in today's world, man, I was looking at one of the most well-known is the Weather Channel. And if you just look at their app, I mean, that is the sophistication and the advancement in those sciences. And still, with the hurricane type weather, those type of storms, the warm weather storms, and then the winter storms, it is still hard for them to they can predict with. To me, it's uncanny how accurate they can be far out. I know last year I found an app where I was able to look at the predicted temperatures for the next 4 or 5 months. And then Sandy pointed out to me they were so close to almost perfectly accurate. And we had a relatively mild winter last year, and after we had a little cold snap, we didn't get below freezing after that the rest of the winter. We had a really mild winter. And they were very accurate with that. This year looks to be different, and in fact, like we were just sharing, if you're just tuning in, the weather projections are once we hit Saturday, our nighttime lows will be below freezing for at least 13, 14 days. So I think some folks laugh. They'll say, "Hey, what do you expect? It's winter," you know. So, but
our winters generally are not that harsh here, are they?
It seems like they haven't. Most of ours haven't. Now, what has happened is, I don't know if it's every 10 years. I can remember back when we had a major storm, and one of our public institutions, I won't even mention it, had sold off some of the equipment because we were having such mild winters. And then we got, zapped and for about a week, and there were some that were complaining, we don't have the equipment we need, we sold it. But you can kind of understand, leaders not wanting to, be overly, the cost. They're trying to spend taxpayer money. And like you said, the general perception and history has been that we do not have harsh winters with a lot of snow and ice. So these occurrences, obviously, folks are going to be concerned. And there's such a ripple effect of things that can happen. One, electricity. Two, just the things that can happen. Ice can just be so dangerous on the roads, and folks can unfortunately fall and break bones.
Right.
There's a ripple effect. And then for those who have devices that depend on electricity, that are key to their living, it just can impact so many different ways. And of course, public leaders have to be concerned about, everybody. So we look forward to hearing that update from, PwC later this afternoon as far as the best that they see is going to be happening here in our community. Hey, Doc, we appreciate you. We've got two great programs coming up, Heartbeat,
Yes, sir.
MP3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Going to be wonderful. Going to be wonderful. Friday's always every day is great on We Do, but we love Fridays.
Yes.
Thank God
yes.
it's Friday.
Yes. Two of our longest running programs on the Wake Up platform, and they were actually doing shows before Wake Up, so they embraced Wake Up. We appreciate them. Have a great day, everybody, and we will do everything that we can to bring the latest weather projections for our local area here, as we've got some impending inclement weather.